Welcome back. My name is Taka and I've got over 25 years in project management. Today we're going to cover the 50 CAPM certification exam questions and answers that are going to make it very easy for you to pass your CAPM exam. Please, if you like this video, like, subscribe, and even share with your other study buddies. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's go to question number 1. All right, you are a new assigned project manager for a large infrastructure project. Your sponsor asks you to ensure the project is formally authorized before any resources are assigned. Yes, that's the right way of doing it. Which document should you develop and get approved? All right, so here it's formalized and approved before any resources are assigned. So here, let's look at the answers. A, project charter. This looks like the right answer, but let's look at the other ones. Business case. No, the business case, it's way before the project even begins, so it's not the right document here. And C, statement of work. It doesn't formalize the work per se. And then the D is project management plan, which is, I think, way ahead. So the correct answer for this is A, project charter. All right, let's look. Yes. Here's the explanation. The project charter formally authorizes the project and grants the project manager the authority to use resources. All right. I hope you got it right. Let's go to the next one. Question number 2. All right. During a project planning meeting, a stakeholder requests that all project deliverables be clearly defined to prevent a scope creep. What tool should you use to break down the project into smaller, manageable components? Here is the, if you're going to read again, please note all project deliverables and then break down the project into smaller, manageable components. So that is that, what a hint. Now, A, work breakdown structure, which I think is more likely to be correct. B, scope statement. A scope statement does not really break down the scope. C, risks register. I think this is not the right one. D, project charter. Of course, not the right one. So the correct answer here is work breakdown structure. All right, let's have a look here. Explanation: the work breakdown structure decomposes project deliverables into smaller, manageable parts, ensuring better control over scope. So that you manage all the components of the project together. Right. Let's go to question number 3. All right. Question number 3. You are leading a software development project, right? Your team is struggling with frequent change requests by stakeholders. What project management principle should you apply to effectively handle these changes? So here, it's a software development. I think it's also important. But the issue is that struggling frequent change requests by stakeholders. So a lot of changes are coming in and trying to implement the project. Now let's look at the answers. A, tailoring. Makes sense because you may need to change some things here so that you accommodate the change requests. B, stewardship. This may not be, it won't help you here. C, value delivery. As well, it won't really help you with the change request. D, governance. Governance happen at high level, so it will also not help you here. So here, I will say the correct answer is tailoring. All right, let's see what we have here. Yes, tailoring. Tailoring ensures that the project management process are adjusted to fit the unique needs of the project, allowing for effective change management. So that is the correct answer. I hope you got that one correct. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 4. Right. Your project team is working on a high risk construction project. The sponsor asks you to identify high impact risks and document how you plan to reduce their probability and impact. What risk response strategy should you use? Here, I think what's important to note here, it's a high risk project, but here what you want to do, the plan, reduce the risks, probability and impact. This is what you want to do. So let's look at the answers here. A, avoid. Of course, you are not avoiding here, so it's not the correct answer. B, mitigate. This one makes sense because you'll be dealing with the risk. C, transfer. This is not, because transferring, you take the risk to another party. D, accept. Accept, it just means you just allow the risk come without much effort in terms of reducing the risk. So the correct answer here should be mitigate. So you are mitigating the risk. So the explanation here, mitigation involves reducing the likelihood and impact of a risk by implementing proactive measures. All right. I hope you got that one correct again. Right. Let's go to the next one. Number 5, sorry. So number 5, you are managing a project with multiple stakeholders who have conflicting interests. To maintain engagement and communication, what document should you create to outline their influence and needs? So here it's multiple stakeholders, conflicting interest, and you want to maintain engagement and communication. So you want to make sure there's engagement. Now, here are the answers here. Number A, stakeholder engagement plan, which is more likely to be correct. And then B, communication plan is also a good idea, but doesn't really, maintain that engagement that you want, doesn't address that. Risk register, C. So risk register is not the right tool for this. And then D, issue log. Again, this is not the right issue here. So the most correct answer here is as A, stakeholder engagement plan. Right. The stakeholder engagement plan defines strategies for engaging stakeholders effectively based on their influence and interests in the project. So this is going to help you to, maintain the engagement and the conflicting interests so that, you maintain that engagement using the stakeholder engagement plan. All right. I hope you got this correct again. Right. If you like this, please like and also subscribe to the channel. Also share this with your friends so that they can also pass their CAPM exam. All right, let's go to the next one. It's question number 6. Right. A project manager is leading a project that consists of 4 phases, right? Which meeting should the project manager hold at each phase to ensure that stakeholders continuously commitment, right? So I'll go through this again. Which meeting should the project manager hold at each phase to ensure stakeholder continuously commitment? So you want commitment throughout, right? So here I think the hint here, you've got 4 phases and you want held at the end at each phase. So be aware of that. So let's look at the answers. A, kickoff meeting. Kickoff meeting happens once when the project is starting. And number B, retrospective meeting. Retrospective is at the end to review maybe the iteration. Then the C is a risk review meeting. So this is just about risk. It's not the correct one as well. Then D, a stage gate meeting. Stage gate meeting, you review the stage or phase. So it's so that you go to the next phase. So this is probably the correct answer, right? A stage gate meeting, D, right? So stage gate or phase review meetings present an opportunity for project stakeholders to review project progress along with planned feature action. In these meetings, project stakeholders can assess whether or not the project is on track to meet the organization's expectations. All right. I hope you got this one correct as well. All right. Let's go to the next question. Right. This is now question number 7. A project manager is overseeing a project that has recently experienced inconsistent performance and a high defect rate. So things are not okay here. During a meeting, the sponsor asks the project where the project is currently standing. So I want to know where the project is standing. So requesting an overview of the work performance. Which of the following documents should the project manager send to the sponsor? Here, let's just look at this. Experiencing inconsistency in performance and high, right? But here, the question is, they want to know where the project is currently standing. That's what they want to know. Number A, it is answers now. Quality report, it's about quality, so this is not the right report. A status report, this looks good because, yeah, where the project is standing. C, risk report, this is not the right one because it's not about risk. Then the last one, D, is project management plan, which I think is not the right. So here the correct most probably is B, the test status report. Right. So the project manager can avoid scope creep by adhering to the agreed upon change management process. All right. I hope you got this one also correct, and also just be aware the different reports that are there. Right. Let's go to the next question. Right. Which is question number 8. Before announcing the completion of the project execution, the project manager of a construction company reviews deliverables and performance on site, performs a site walkthrough. What is the project manager performing in this scenario? So here, let's just look what we have here. Before the execution, reviews deliverables, but now remember it's walking through, right? So what is this project manager doing? A, an inspection. It makes sense because this project manager is walking around the site. B, a handing over. No, this is not handing over because there is no other party to hand over to. C, audit. This is not an audit. This is more of walking around the site. It's not as thorough as in an audit, so it's not an audit. D, a scope validation. This is probably not a scope validation because you need also your requirements as well to validate the scope. So here the correct answer should be an inspection, which is A. Right, let's see what we have here. Yes, that's the correct answer. So during an inspection, the project manager reviews deliverables and performs a site walkthrough if applicable. All right. I hope you got this one correct as well. All right, let's go to the next one, which is question number 9. One of the project team key members leaves the project for personal reasons. The project manager did not plan for such a scenario, but they managed to get a replacement with the help of a staffing agency. However, they have to pay them a high salary. This will result in extra costs which fall under which project. So there is here, if you look at this, the project manager did not anticipate that, right? Did not plan for such. So, and there is a high salary or cost that are involved here. So let's look at the answers, right? A, contingency reserve. Contingency reserve usually is about risks that are within your control, that you are aware of, and you sort of plan for them. So this is not planned for. So it's not really the correct answer. Cost, I think it's also not the correct answer as well. C, management reserve. This one makes sense because this is also beyond the contingency reserve. Then the D is budget. So here I'll say the correct answer should be C, management reserve. This is where the money is going to come from, right? So here is the explanation. Management reserves involves the dedicated budget or a time reserve for handling unidentified risks or unknowns because they are not known, so you don't know. So that is, so please also be aware of the differences here between the answers, the contingent reserve, cost, management reserve, and budgets. Just review that so that in future you know what each one of these mean. All right. I hope you got this one correct. All right. Let's now move to the next question, which is question number 10. Right. Halfway through a sprint, the development team realized that they planned for more work than they could possibly complete. What should the project manager advise the development team to do next? So here is halfway through the sprint. You've already been working on it, and then you've got more work than you could finish in that sprint. So let's look at the answers. Number A, ask the project owner to remove some work items from the sprint backlog. Yeah, this can also assist you or resolve the issue. B, collaborate with the product owner to reprioritize the product backlog items. So here, it might not be the solution here because we're already in the sprint. We're already halfway through the sprint. C, continue work and put off discussing this issue to the sprint retrospect. So this is, you just basically don't do anything until the end of the sprint, which may not actually solve your problem. D, inform the product owner during the sprint review that some features could not be completed. So this is basically you don't do much and you review at the end. So here the most correct answer should be A. Ask the product owner to remove some work items from the sprint backlog. So here's the explanation. First, the development team should collaborate with the product owner in order to remove some work items from their sprint backlog. All right. I hope you got this one correct. And if you are enjoying these questions, if it's helping you, think it's helping you to pass your CAPM exam, please like, down there, and also subscribe to the channel, or even share this with your buddies so that they can also, pass their CAPM exam. Right. Question number 11. Industries such as construction, aerospace, and automotive use what for directional alignment and integration of components activities? The success of these initiatives is measured by the realization of intended benefits and the efficiency of delivery through benefits. So here, this question is a bit tricky, but please remember alignment. You want to do alignment and integration of activities so that it's efficient in terms of delivery of benefits. So be aware of that. All right, let's look at the answers here. A, projects. Here, if you say projects, alignment and integration doesn't come through. B, processes. This it's not really correct. C, programs. This now makes sense because programs are done for alignment and also for efficiency in delivery. Then D, products. Product won't be the correct. So for this one, I'll say the correct answer should be C, programs. All right. Explanation. Many industries such as infrastructure, aerospace, and automotive use program management guides and frameworks so that they manage, so they bring together all the projects so that it becomes a program and there's efficiency in terms of delivery of benefits. So just be aware of that. All right. Let's move on. I hope you got this one correct. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 12. Which of the following best describe the project life cycle? Right. A set of planned steps that guides project stakeholders throughout the project. Okay. Guides project stakeholders, that doesn't sort of define, it's a bit tricky there. B, a collection of processes used to manage projects execution and monitoring. What about planning and closing? So it may not. C, a sequence of tasks that the project team performs to deliver outputs. Oh, this one seems to be, but it's tasks. And then D, a series of phases that a project passes through from start to completion. So here the most correct answer is D, a series of phases that a project passes through from start to completion. Right. Yeah, that is the correct answer. So here, just to explain that, the phases include initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closing. And they guide a project from inception to delivery and closure. So please just be aware of this. All right. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 13. Right. Which technique is used to develop the WBS? So which technique do you use here? Right. So you must know how to develop a WBS. Number A, scope decomposition. It makes sort of sense because we break the scope. It's a work breakdown structure. B, bottom-up estimating. Nope, that's not the right one. C, rolling wave planning. No, that's not the right one. Yeah. And then D, checklist analysis. That is also not the correct. So the correct here answer should be A, scope decomposition. So scope decomposition is planning method used to decompose and subdivide the project and scope deliverables into more manageable small work units. The decomposition level depends on the complexity and size of the project. Right. I hope you got that one right. So this is basically the description of the WBS, the work breakdown structure. Right. Let's go on to the next question, which is question number 14. During which process does a project manager confirm resource availability and obtain the team necessary to complete project activity? So during which process does the project manager confirm your resource availability, obtain the team necessary to complete the project? So here it's about the resources. Here, that's what's happening, right? Let's look at the answers here. A, plan resource management. Okay, it's within resource, but remember plan. Right? Here we are confirming and obtaining the resources, which means this may not be the right one. B, estimate activity resources. That's not it. C, develop team. No, because we're still acquiring the resources. Then D, it says acquire resources. Yes, this is the correct, because it's about acquiring resources. So D is the correct answer here. Right. Acquire resources is a process where the project manager confirm resource availability and obtain the team necessary to complete the project activities. All right. I hope you got this one correct. All right. Let's go to the next one, which is question number 15. So during a sprint planning, a team member noticed some artifacts were missing, and the project manager asked the team member to resolve the issue. What should the team member add? Right. Here it's select 2. So which one will you select? Here, right. Let's just look at the question again. During a sprint planning, team member noticed some artifacts were missing. You need to know what are artifacts here, right? And the project manager asked the member to resolve this issue. What should the team member add? Right. Here there are answers here. Number 1, increments. Right. This right seems to be okay, but let's just leave it for now. B, sprint review. No, this is not an artifact. Retrospectives. C, this is not also an artifact. D, daily scrum. This is not. So you can see that from B, C, and D, these are ceremonies actually. Then E, sprint backlog. Yep, that's an artifact. So here the artifacts is A, increments, and E, which is a sprint backlog. Let's look at the answer. Yes, E and A. So an increment is a validated and approved deliverable product at the end of each sprint, which is an artifact reflecting a functional and usable subset of the project's overall capabilities. Right. So that's the explanation for that. All right. I hope you got this one correct. So if you are enjoying this and you are seeing that it's adding value to your study of the for the CAPM exam, please like and subscribe to the channel. Actually, I advise you, share this with your study buddies so that they can also pass their exam as well. All right, let's go on to the next question, which is question number 16. In which methodology does the team continuously work on the highest priority item without the use of time box iteration? So I'm going to read again. In which methodology does the team continuously work on the highest priority item without the use of time box iteration? So here you are just going to continue to work right throughout. A, Scrum Ban. Okay, because the Scrum here involved, it means there's going to be iteration in here. Then XP, again, this may not be the right one. Kanban may be the right one, because here in a Kanban board, if you still remember, you've got work that is coming in the queue, work that is in progress, work that is so that is like a continuous flow. Then D, Scrum. A Scrum has got iteration as well in sprint. So the correct answer here should be C, the Kanban. Right. In Kanban, there are no fixed time box iteration like in Scrum, XP, and XP. Teams continuously work on the highest priority items from backlog with a focus on limiting work in progress, which is the WIP, and improving flow. All right. I hope you got this one correct as well. This one is a bit tricky, but it's a good one. Yeah. Right. Let's go to the next, which is question number 17. A business analyst is eager to implement a new solution for the company. The stakeholders requested an assessment of the business value it will bring. So they want to know what value is coming in. What should the business analyst do, right? So let's just look at this business. You are analyst is eager to implement a new solution for the company, but we want to see the business value that it's going to bring. So what do you do? Number A, conduct a cost-benefit analysis. It makes sense because you want to see the costs and what benefits or value will be brought by that particular solution. It makes sense. B, use benchmarking techniques. This is not the right thing to do here. C, conduct a feasibility study. Feasibility study is more of it's a good idea, but not the most correct here. D, conduct a feature injection. This is also not correct. So here the most correct answer is A. Conduct a cost benefit analysis so that you see the new solution, what is it bringing and adding value to the business. All right. Explanation here, that's the correct answer. Explanation here, a cost benefit analysis evaluates the financial return of implementing the solution by comparing the expected benefits against the costs. It's an effective way to assess the business value of a solution. So that will be the most correct answer in this case. All right. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 18. All right. Which one of the following includes functional and non-functional requirements? Please, let's just look again. Functional and non-functional requirements. So which one is that? So the first one, A, business requirements. Second one, stakeholder requirements. C, solution requirements. And then D, transition requirements. So which one? So here, a solution requirements more have got two categories. We've got functional and you also have the non-functional. Here, the most correct answer will be solution requirements. So solution requirements outline the specific attributes of a solution, including the features, functionalities of a product. Those requirements addresses both business and stakeholder needs and must be detailed enough to guide the design and implementation of the solution effectively. All right. So this was a tricky. Please remember that if I think from your when you are studying solution requirements, you have to use functional and non-functional. Right. Let's go to the next, which is question number 19. So what is the purpose of a project charter? This you have to know what is a project charter. A is to document the project approach. B, to formally authorize the project and document its initial requirements. C, to be used as a reference during the project kickoff meeting. D, to set up the project code of conduct. So a project charter is there to authorize the project. So here is the explanation here at the bottom. A project charter is used to formally authorize a project, both the project manager to start the project as well as document the project's objective and its high-level scope. It also defines the responsibilities and roles of all involved parties in the project. So it's a high level, sort of give description of what the project intends to achieve and how it will be done. Right. So that was question number 19. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 20. Right. Question number 20. It's quite interesting. Let's look at that. What does this table represent? All right. Let's look at it. So in this table, on the first column, it's stakeholders. So you got names of various stakeholders here. And then on the top there, you got next column, the columns for unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, leading. So it means we are sort of looking at the stakeholders. Where are they in terms of, the relationship with their attitude to the project? Okay, let's just look at the answers here. A, RESI chart. This is not a RESI chart because the RESI chart, you have got the people involved in the project and the activities. So this is not a RESI chart. B, requirement traceability matrix. This is not a requirement traceability matrix. C, stakeholder engagement assignment matrix. So a stakeholder engagement assignment matrix, it talks about how you're going to engage various people. So yeah, let's just look at this. C, that was C. D, the mood chart. So the correct answer here will be the stakeholder engagement assignment matrix, all right, which is C. Right, a stakeholder engagement assignment matrix, a matrix that show stakeholder engagement level. So where are they in terms of their engagement with the project? All right, I hope you are finding this helpful. If you're finding this helpful and it's helping you to pass your CAPM exam, please like, and also subscribe to the channel, and also share with your friends so that they can also, pass their CAPM exam. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is question number 21. All of the following statements are true except. So we want to see which one is not correct. All right, let's look at the statements. Now, the first one, A project can involve multiple stakeholders. Of course, this is correct. B, a program is a large project. This does not look correct, because if you know what is a program, it's a collection of projects that are related. So B looks like the correct answer here. C, portfolio management aligns with organizational strategy. This is correct. D, several projects can be aligned under a single program. This, of course, is correct. So which means the correct answer for here is B, which says that a program is a large project. Okay, so programs are not big projects. Well, a program mainly focuses on maximizing the organization's profit, project management targets, the creation of deliverables that meets and satisfy the stakeholders' needs. All right. I hope you got this question correct. All right. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 22. Right. Working in a predictive environment, a project manager has decided to use a 3-point estimation with a beta distribution to measure the cost of project activities. Which of the following formulas should the project manager use? So here, let's just go through it. It's a predictive environment, and the project manager wants to use the 3-point estimation, and it's a beta distribution. So this is the key: 3-point and beta. So which one? Which is the right formula here? Okay, A is optimistic plus pessimistic plus most likely, and you divide by 3, which is, I think, it's not correct one here. Then B, optimistic plus pessimistic plus 2 times most likely, you divide by 4. That is not the correct one. C, optimistic plus pessimistic plus 3 times most likely. This is not the correct answer again. So the correct one should be D, which is optimistic plus pessimistic, and then you multiply by 4 times most likely, you divide by 3 by 6. So this is the correct answer. So you need to know this formula for the 3-point estimation beta distribution. Here is the explanation around it. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 23. Right. Question number 23. Sorry. What helps stakeholders check out the status of material shortages, technical difficulties, scheduling conflicts, and how they are being monitored and treated? So what is it that's going to help stakeholders check out the status of material shortages, technical difficulties, scheduling conflict? So what is it? Let's look at this. With A, feedback log. Okay, this doesn't sound okay. Number B, issue log, right? And sprint backlog, which I think is not correct here. Then D, change log. So here the correct answer should be issue log, right? So it helps check the status, and then technical difficulties, conflicts. So it's the issue log. So you want to see what are the issues, and then right. Let's see the answers here. Yes, it's B, which is the issue log. So material shortages, technical difficulties, schedule conflict are problems that should be recorded in the issue log. So you document them into the issue log. All right. I hope you got this one right. All right. Let's go to the next one, which number 24. Right. So question number 24. In order to review errors and quality, what activity is performed by the team to ensure requirements meet the quality standards? Right. So here we need to select two. So it's about quality, right? So here you've got A, inspections, which makes sense that it's, at least when you expect, it's about quality. B, you've got requirements, elicitation, which I think is not the right one here. C, documentation, also not the right one. Then peer review, also yes, because you are reviewing, sort of a review, so it makes a sense here. And then E, audit. So here the correct answer should be A and D. So inspections and peer review. An inspection is a structured and detailed review process where an individual closely familiar with the work examine it for completeness, consistency, and conformation to both internal and external standards. So yeah, the correct answer should be here, A and D. This was a tricky one. I hope you got it correct. All right, let's go to the next question, which is question number 25. To take into consideration the triple bottom line, the project manager invites the sponsor to attend a meeting to define the scope of a new project. What are the three elements of the triple bottom line? So the triple bottom line, what are the elements? So you need to know that so that you can respond to that. A, performance, planet, profit. This is not correct. B, plan, people, profit. This sounds correct. C, profit, people, planet. This actually is more correct, all right? Then D, profit, people, performance. So the correct answer here is C, which is people, profit, people, and planet, right? So the triple bottom line, so you be aware of this, is a sustainability of framework for evaluating a company's bottom line from the perspective of profit, people, and the planet. So be aware of that. Let's go to the next question. If you like what we've done so far, if you see that this is adding value as you study for the CAPM exam, please like and also subscribe to the channel, and also share as well with your friends so that they can also, get help, benefits from this video. All right, let's go to the next question, which is question number 26. What type of dependence is established based on knowledge of best practices, or when a specific sequence is preferred over other acceptable sequences? I'm going to read this again. What type of dependence is established based on knowledge of best practices, or when a specific sequence is preferred over other acceptable sequences? So what if you prefer something compared to something? So let's just look at this. So dependence is based on knowledge of best practice, right? So what is it? So first, the first answer, A, external dependence. This is not about external, so it's not the correct answer. B, internal, also not about internal. Then C, it's mandatory, which makes sense because this is best practices, where specific sequence is preferred over another. And then D, discretional. So here, when it's mandatory, there is no choice. You can't prefer. This is how it's gonna. So C is not really the correct. So the correct here is discretionary. So based on best practice, or you prefer this to that. All right, let's look at the solution. It's D, discretionary. So discretionary dependencies are established based on best practices or when a specific sequence is desired. So yeah, right. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 27. Right. A risk response strategy in which the project team takes no action towards a risk except to document it and revisit it periodically is called what? So this is a response where there is a risk, take no action towards the risk except just document, revisit. What is it? A, mitigate. This is not correct because when you mitigate, you take action. B, accept. which is seems very correct because you accept the risk as is, as it comes. You don't do anything about it besides just documenting. Then C, avoid. Avoid is that you avoid the risk. This is not it. And D, transfer. It means you go to the third to another part. So the correct answer here is B, accept. All right, let's look what we have here. Accept. So accept is a risk response strategy where the project team takes no action towards the risk except to document it and revisit periodically. All right. So I hope you got this question correct. Yeah. And let's go on to the next question, which is question number 28. The process of backlog refinement, right? This is backlog refinement, involves what? Backlog refinement. What is it? So A, the identification of work items to be accomplished during the next sprint. No, this is not backlog refinement. B, using a board to keep track of products and sprint backlog. This is not it. C, prioritizing a list of product requirements which is maintained by the project team. This also not it as well. And then D, the gradual development of product specifications to meet the needs of the product owner. So this looks like C, because now you are gradually, developing the product requirements. So this is more like refinement. So D is the most correct answer in this case, right? So backlog refinement refers to the progressive elaboration of project requirements where the agile team collaboratively integrates, reviews, and updates with the sole purpose of satisfying the customer and product owners' needs. So, right. I hope you got this one correct. All right. Let's go to the next one, which is question number 29. Right. Question number 29 says that the lowest level in the WBS is called a what? This is a straightforward. You have to know this. So A, work package. I think this is more likely. B, deliverable. Deliverable is not. It's at the end after execution. C, milestone. Milestone is just a marker in the schedule. D, activity. This is task that is done. So the most correct answer is A, and the explanation is in a WBS, the work package is the lowest level of hierarchy. So at the lowest level, you've got your work package. All right. I hope you got this one also correct. Right. Let's go now to question number 30. Right. Question number 30. A project manager is leading a team of 6 members in an open space work environment. Right. While working on an offer, the potential client called to request a cost estimate. The project manager informs the client that it was around $600,000. However, the team member immediately corrected the project manager, saying it's actually around $700,000. The project manager didn't realize that the team member was overhearing the conversation. What kind of communication is being used here? Right. Remember, what type of communication? You've got 6 members in an open space work environment. I think this gives a hint to the question. So what kind of communication? A, open space communication. This seems to be the correct answer, but let's look at D, distracting communication. Okay, sounds okay, but not really. C, indirect communication. So this one may not, it's not indirect. Then D, osmotic communication. I think also this. So the correct answer, the most correct answer here is A, open space communication here. All right. I hope you got this one correct. So in the stakeholder engagement plan defines strategies for engaging stakeholders effectively based on their influence. So the correct answer is open space communication. Right. Let's go to the next one, which is question number 30. An organization puts too much emphasis on continuous improvement. In which of the following meetings can the organization team discuss why things went wrong and what could be improved? Let's read this again. In an organization's puts too much emphasis on continuous improvement, so they want to continuously improve. In which of the following meetings can the organization team discuss why things went wrong? So why things went wrong and what should we do to improve, right? What is that meeting? We want to select two here. A, retrospective. Yep, retrospective is more of looking back in terms of how we worked. Let's put it there. B, lesson learned meeting. So this looks like, it also sounds okay because you're talking about what you've learned previous. Then C, status meeting. This seems very not correct because status, we want to talk about progress. Then D, review meeting. Also not really there. So the correct answer should be A and B, a retrospective meeting and a lesson learned meeting, right? So these are the correct answers. So lesson learned are known as retrospective as well. This meeting is used to check what went wrong and what could be improved. All right. So those two are the correct answers. Okay. Let's go to question number 32. The longest path in a network diagram is known as what? Right. You have to know it. A, critical path. This is correct answer, but let's also read the other ones. B, critical chain, which is, I think it's not correct. C, float, it's not. C, D, free float, which is also not correct. So the correct answer here is A, critical path. So in a network diagram, the critical path is the path with the longest series of tasks. All right. Let's go to question number 33. Using an agile approach, where should product requirements be documented? Okay, let's just look at this. It is an agile approach. Where should product requirements be documented? Right. Let's now look at the answers. A, in the requirements log. Okay, which requirement log? So this is not clear. It doesn't really give us the answer. B, in the product backlog, right? Product backlog, here we want product requirements. So this looks like the correct answer. Let's see. C, in the team charter. Okay, this is not where you're going to find that. D, in the WBS. Again, it's an agile approach. You will not be having the WBS. So the correct answer here is B, in the product backlog. So just to explain here, product requirements are documented under the product, under the backlog as user stories. The backlog user stories are then continuously prioritized and also refined. All right. So the WBS is only used in predictive methodology. So be aware of that as well. All right. I hope you got this one correct. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 34. All right. So what is the primary distinction between Agile and Scrum? Right? What is the distinction? So here what we know was the difference. So let's go through that. A, Agile is a set of values and principles, while Scrum only presents a set of values. Oh no, this is not correct. B, Agile is a set of values, principles, and practices, while Scrum only involves a set of values and principles. Again, this is not correct. Let's go to C. Agile is a set of values and principles, while Scrum represents a set of values, principles, and practices. So this sounds now more correct. Then D, Agile is a framework, while Scrum is a philosophy. This, I think, is not correct. So here I'll say the correct answer should be C. Right. Yeah, that is C. So the primary distinction between Agile and Scrum is that Agile is a project management a philosophy that utilizes the core set of values and principles, while Scrum is a specific Agile practice used to facilitate a project. Right. So be aware of this. This is, I hope you got this one correct. Right. Let's go to question number 35. The project team finds out that several implemented features let me just read this again. The project team finds out that several implemented features deviate from what is specified in the scope statement, right? So here we've got certain features that are deviating. So which document should the project manager consult to address this issue? So let's just look at this. Several features deviate from what is specified in the scope statement. So what document should we use to address this issue? Now let's look at A, we've got WBS. Okay, yep, it lists, but let's just look at the next one. WBS dictionary, which is a list of all the work packages from the WBS. Then C, requirements traceability matrix. This looks like the correct, because now it's a traceability matrix for the requirements. So this, I think, and then the next one is the project charter. This won't be the right one. So the correct answer here should be C, requirements traceability matrix, that you can use now to see against the scope. So this is the correct answer. The explanation here: the traceability matrix is a document that maps requirements as well as other aspects of the project. It's used as evidence to confirm the requirements have been fulfilled, as it typically documents those requirements along with issues test results. So all right, I hope you got these questions correct. All right, and if you are getting value, if you see that these questions and answers, you are benefiting from it, please like and also subscribe to the channel, and also share with your friends so that they can also benefit from these questions. All right, let's move on to the next one question, which is question number 36. All right. Which of the following responsibilities is unique to business analysis? Right. So this is unique to business analysis. Which one is it? Right. Let's look for A, defining product scope. So in other words, product, what is the scope of the product? Yeah, this is look like a business analysis type of work. B, defining project scope. I think this is not really accurate because this is mostly project manager role. C, managing risks and ensuring the timely delivery of projects. And this is also within the project, not business analysis. D, tracking project progress. This is also in the project. So the most correct answer here is D, is A, defining product scope. This is the role of business analyst. All right, let's just look at the answer. Yes, it's correct. So business analysis focus on defining the product scope, which includes understanding business needs, gathering requirements, and ensuring the final product features and functions align with stakeholder expectations. All right, I hope you got this question correct as well. All right, it was a bit a tricky one. Right, let's go to the next question, which is question number 37. A project team member notices that some requirements are missing from the project documentation. The project manager asks the team members to resolve the issue. What artifacts can the team member add to properly reflect requirement statement? Here they say select 3. So we're going to select 3 in this one. Right, let's just look at this again. The project team member noticed that some requirements are missing. So some requirements are missing from the project documentation. The project manager asked the team member to resolve this issue. Which artifacts can the team member add to properly reflect the requirement statement? Right, let's look at this first. Risk register. Right, so this is about requirements that are missing. So a risk register may not be the right one because we're talking about the risks, right? So we want requirements, right? Then the B, use cases, right? This seems like a good answer, okay? But let's leave it for now. Let's go to C, and we want to select 3. So this one we can put it, looks good. C, user stories. This also about requirements that are missing. So it may also be a good answer here. So let's put it also aside again. D, Gantt chart. Gantt chart, we are talking about progress. It's a schedule. So this might not be a good answer here. Because a Gantt chart, you're talking about the timetable, not requirements. Then E, visual models, so you visualize the requirements. So here, the correct answers should be, here the best answers. B, use case. C, use stories. And then you go to E, visual models. So this sounds like the most correct answer in this one, right? So yeah, this is correct. So here is the explanation here for each of them of these options. So requirement statements can be expressed in artifacts such as use case, user stories, backlog items, and visual model. So yeah. All right, this was a bit tricky, but it's a good one. Let's go to the next one. I hope you got it correct. Okay. Go to number 38, question 38. The project team did not understand the project requirements. Okay. who's responsible for requirements elicitation? So who's responsible for collecting all the requirements for the project, right? So that's the question here. A, is it the project manager's role? B, is it the business analyst's role? C, is it a project manager and business analyst? So here is also a combination. And then D, is it a project sponsor's role? So here the project sponsor is out. And also if you look at B, business analyst, this is about requirements so that we meet a business value. So a business benefit. So it's more likely to be B, the business analyst's role, to collect all the requirements for all the stakeholders for that. Yes, that's the correct answer. So business analyst is the one responsible for gathering, analyzing, and documenting the requirements, because here you want to make sure that we are delivering the value, or we are resolving the solution that we want to resolve. Right. Let's go to next question, which is question number 39. The process of identifying and documenting the relationships between project activities is called what? So let's just look at it. The process of identifying and documenting relationships between project activities. So you are sort of connecting the activities. Number A, it says control the schedule. Number B, sequence. Because now if you say A, control the schedule, this is not clear. It's vague. B, sequence activities. Yes, here you've got activities, project activity. You identify, you document the relationship dependencies between this. B looks like the likely one. C, define activities. Here we're not talking about relationships, so it's not correct. D, develop schedule. This also is not really specific. So the correct answer should be B. Sequence your activities. So you want to know the relationships between the activities, what come after what. So you want to know that. Let's look at the, yes, it's B. So sequencing activities involves identifying and documenting the logical relationships among project activities. So that will be the correct answer. I hope you got this one correct. Let's go to the next question, which will be question 40. Right. What is the primary benefit of traceability metrics in managing scope creep? Well, let's read this again. What is the primary benefit of traceability metrics in managing scope creep? So you want to avoid scope creep. So what is the benefit here? A says it tracks the financials of the project. Not really. Here we're talking about scope creep. It's about scope. B, it records all stakeholders' decision. Not really as well. It's not correct answer. C, it manages teams' assignments effectively. Not really as well. But D, it ensures that only approved requirements are incorporated into the solution. So D is the correct answer, because here you want to make sure that you only the scope, you are within the scope by making sure that you only have the approved requirements. So D is the correct answer. Let's just look. Yes, it's D is the correct answer. So a traceability metrics help manage scope creep by linking requirements into their source and ensuring that only approved and necessary changes are incorporated into the final product or solution. All right. If you see that what we are doing here is benefiting you, and you see that no, you are getting better, and so please like and subscribe to the channel, and also share this video with your friends so that they can also benefit the way you are. All right. Let's now move on to the next question, which is question number 40. Right. 41. Sorry. Question number 41. The project task is 90% complete, so it's almost complete. It cannot, however, be finished until another task is completed. What type of dependencies is this? You need to select two in this case. So the task is almost complete, but it cannot be completed. You cannot finish, right, until another task is finished. So it cannot be finished unless another task is finished. Let's look at the answers here. You have got A, finish to start. So finish to start is a relationship where you cannot start until you finish. So this is not the relationship here. This is a finish, and so that you can finish. So B is finish to finish, which will be the correct in this case, because in order to finish this, you need to finish another activity. Like, let's look at the next one. We need 2 here. Mandatory dependence. Of course, it's mandatory because you cannot finish this unless you finish that one. So it's a mandatory as well. So C seems to be correct as well. Then D, discretionary dependency, which is, I think, it's not discretionary. So here the correct answers are B and C. Right, it's B and C. I think I've already explained that, the finish to finish mandatory dependence that we have in this particular case. All right. I hope you got this one correct. Right, let's go to the next one, which is question number 42. What should the team deliver at the end of a sprint? Right, what should the team deliver? Okay, a software testing report requested by the Scrum Master. Okay, this doesn't look correct. B, a project status report requested by the executive management. This doesn't sound also correct. C, an increment of working software that meets the definition of done. This we are getting there. Let's read the number D, an increment of software before testing. So the most correct should be C, an increment of working software that meets the definition of done. Right, so that will be the correct answer. So in Agile, this is the explanation now. Agile team is responsible for delivering an increment of working software that meets the definition of done. All right, okay, let's go to the next one, which is question number 43. The most appropriate project lifecycle model for environments with a high level of change and extensive stakeholder involvement is what? Let's just go back again and read again. The most appropriate project life cycle. So you want to choose a life cycle model for environment with high level of change and extensive stakeholder involvement. So the stakeholder want to get involved, and there's a lot of change. So let's look at the responses here. A, adaptive. It works well because adaptive, we need change. We like change. We need to keep on changing as we go. And also stakeholders, we need feedback as we go. So that looks like a good answer. And B, progressive. That may not be so good. C, predictive. I think this is actually the wrong. D, tailoring, not so. So here the best answer is adaptive methodology in this case. Right, that's the correct answer. The explanation here says that an adaptive project lifecycle model is best suitable for environments with high level of change and extensive stakeholder involvement, because the stakeholder comes in, you get feedback, and you include it in your next iteration or sprint. Right. I hope you got this one correct. All right. Let's go on to the next question, which is question number 44. A stakeholder is pressuring the project team to make some changes to the final product. Okay. So the project manager informs the client that the changes cannot be implemented immediately due to the organization's established process. Which of the following documents those processes? Right. Let's look here. There's a pressuring, they want change to the final product, but now we can't do the changes cannot be implemented immediately because of organizations' established process. So there are processes that are there, for this type of changes. Some know which process is that now. So we've got A, the change control board. Okay. It can be correct, but let's just put it with one process. A body may not be a process. B, it's the change control system. Now that is a process, so that can be more correct. C, the organizational process assets. This is now vague. It's not specific to the issue that we have here. D, the scope management plan. This is also, it's a generic. So here the best answer, the most correct answer is the B, the change control system, because that is going to say, right, that's the correct answer. So the change control system is a set of procedures that describe how modification to the project deliverables and the documentation are managed and controlled. I hope you got this one correct. All right, let's go move on to the next question, which is question number 45. Right. In the predictive approach, which of the following terms is used for both schedule and cost to define what you will measure against later in the monitoring and controlling phase? Let's just look at this just a little bit. This is in a predictive approach. Which of the following terms used for both schedule and cost to define what you measure against later in the monitoring and control? So in other words, what are you going to come back to refer to, later on? This is what they are looking at, right? And it applies to schedule as well as cost. So let's look at the first one. A, variance. This is as not it. But it's not it. B, expected value. This is not it at all. C, baseline. Yes, because it gives you where you're going to reference point as you measure. Then D, estimates. Not really. So here, the most correct answer is C, baseline, which you use whether for your cost or for your schedule to refer backwards. All right, let's look at the answer. It's C. Cost and schedule baseline are used to assess performance in monitoring and controlling phases. All right. I hope you are liking, you like what we are doing here and you're seeing the benefit that is in. If you are seeing the benefit, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, you can share this with your friends who want to do the CAPM so that they can also get value the way you are. All right. Let's go on to the next question, which is question number 46. Right. What is the key factor that helps Agile team deliver at maximum speed? Right. What is the key factor? Right. And also maximum speed. What is that key factor for Agile teams? So let's look at the answers here. A, multitasking. So do you think that when they multitask, it's going to help them? Not really. B, continuous integration. Right, because there's continuous integration. It's about continuously, putting things together and see how they look. I think this is what it happens most of the time. C, formal sign off. No, this won't work. D, strict risk mitigation. Also, still not the correct. The best answer for here is B, continuous integration, because Agile teams, they need to continuously integrate feedback as they work, as they go on. So B will be the most correct answer in this case. So continuous integration involves the frequent incorporation of individual contribution into the overall project and retesting the entire product to ensure that the integration is successful. All right. I hope you got that one correct as well. All right. We are moving, almost getting closer now. Let's go to the next one, which is question number 47. The project team is actively working on creating a solution and preparing it for delivery to business. So it's a project team working on a solution. In which phase of the project will this activity take place? Remember, they're actively working on creating a solution, preparing it for delivery to the business. So which phase is that, right? A, execution, makes sense because they're actually working, they're actively working. So that makes sense. B, planning, no, because they are already working. C, monitoring and controlling, not correct because they are already working. D, closure, not really correct because they are actually working. So the most correct answer here should be A, execution. Right, so it's the execution phase. The project team develops, implements, and delivers the solution to the business. Right. Let's go to the next. I hope you got this one correct. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 48. Right. Which of the following tools and techniques are used for stakeholder analysis? Here we need to select two. All right. Which ones are they? Number A, you've got your RESI chart. So these two, let's just read this again. Tool and technique used for stakeholder analysis. You want to analyze your stakeholder. A, RESI chart, makes sense because you've got stakeholders and what they're going to do. B, decision tree. Okay, doesn't really fit in here. C, persona analysis. Yes, you want to see where they are. It makes sense. Then D, focus group. Right. So we want to analyze your stakeholders. So here, the correct answer should be the RESI, A, a risk matrix, as well as C, the persona analysis, because now those are involved in terms of analyzing your stakeholders, right? A and C, right? Let's move to the next question, which is question number 49. Identify risks is part of which process group. So you need to be aware of the process groups that are there, various process groups. So identify risks. Which process group is this, right? When you identify a risk, in other words, where are you? A, planning process groups. B, execution process groups. C, closing process group. And then D, initiating. So because you are identifying risk, you are doing the planning. So A will be the correct answer in this case. So identify risk is part of the planning process groups, where risks are identified and documented as part of the project risk management plan. So this is what you're trying to build towards, right? So I hope you got this question correct. Right, let's move to the next and the final question, the last question, which is question 50, right? Which interpersonal skill is crucial for project managers to motivate and engage their teams effectively? So here, I think what we need to pick up is that, let's just pick the highlighter, interpersonal skills, motivate and engage their teams effectively. So here, let's look at the responses. A, negotiation. This is not the right one because you're not need to motivate. Conflict resolution, it's B, also not correct because you need to motivate. C is task delegation, so you can delegate your task, but it's not motivating and engaging your team. And then D, emotional intelligence. So this is the most correct answer because now you need to apply that as you motivate and engage your team. This is the correct answer. Let's just look what we have here. Okay, explanation. Emotional intelligence is the interpersonal skill that enable project managers to understand, manage, and influence their own emotions and those of their team members. All right. Oh, so I hope you got this one correct. And this brings us to the end of the series. And now I hope you saw the value that was in this video. And what I want you to ask you to do, please like and also subscribe to the channel so that you get notification in the event that we also upload another video like this. You want a notification coming to you. So please like and subscribe to the channel and also share this with your friends so that they can also benefit as they prepare for their CAPM exam. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.